So today is Thursday. In about 2 hours I have to go to a lecture on compositing, visual effects and CGI. It sounds really interesting, but it isn't really. It's just we learn a little bit about After Effects and that's it. But to pass that class, we have to make a video using After Effects and some of the tools we learn. So I thought today I'd show you what I have planned for that. Let's go. So, let me explain. As I already mentioned, the video we have to do has to use After Effects and some of the effects we learned in our class. My first inspiration was to kind of use a green screen to teleport me into worlds of video games and then do jokes about tropes in those video games. For example, in Overwatch, hear Genji's "I need healing" and do a joke about that. And do that for a bunch of video games, and yeah, that would be it. Most of the stuff I'd use would be green screen and some other effects, but not too much. But then Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out, so I was kind of on a Pokemon trip, and then I had another idea. Some of you probably know the Arceus Cutscene from Pokemon HeartGold and SoulSilver. I think it's very iconic, so my next idea was to recreate the symbol. I know it looks like shit, but that's about what the iconic symbol from that cutscene I mentioned looks like. So I wanted to recreate that in After Effects. And then I thought I could go a step further and recreate the entire Arceus cutscene. It's also known as the Arceus PowerPoint because he just shows you random images, but it's really cool, really iconic, and kind of creepy. So maybe I could recreate it, give it a little bit of my own twist, and then I thought to combine it with my other idea, and then kind of a storyline formed automatically. The idea would be to tell the story of someone who gets transported into the Pokemon world. That was a voice crack. By Arceus. In the Pokemon world, there would be a bunch of jokes about how bad the technical performance of the new Pokemon games are, jokes about the hours of tutorials Sun and Moon has, jokes about the pop-in, the lag, and that sort of stuff. And then the person would be transported out by Arceus again. So, this is what I came up with. That is the video. It would start with a little introduction. A short part that is something like a Ryan George video, with two characters both played by me. They are having a short discussion, and it would end with one character saying, "I wish I could live in the Pokemon world," or something like that. That leads into an even shorter segment that is the Arceus cutscene from Legends Arceus, where the player character meets Arceus for the first time. But in this case, it would obviously not be the character from the game, but me with a green screen put into that cutscene. In that cutscene, Arceus would kind of just say, "Yeah, I can grant you that wish," and puts the character I'm playing in the Pokemon world. That would be the biggest part. Something like that. Is the character in the Pokemon world also meeting different characters, all played by me, and yeah, just making jokes about everything that's kind of been bad about the last few Pokemon games. Then this would be the part that I originally planned as the entire video. It would be the Arceus cutscene from HeartGold SoulSilver. I still want to recreate it, but give it a little bit of my own spin. I don't want to remake it exactly, because there are people who have already done it. I want to give it a little bit of my own spin, make it a little bit less creepy probably, but I don't want to fill it with jokes. But I want to change the images that I used a little bit, and maybe do something cool with the symbol. I don't know yet. Then there's a short part back in the real world where the character basically says, "I'm glad I'm not living in the Pokemon world," or something like that. So yeah, 5-part structure. That is the plan I have. I maybe also want to do a little portal sequence where the character is transported into the Pokemon world and out of it. That would be here and here. But I'm not sure about that. That would be a lot of work for a very short sequence. The good thing is I can reuse it, but if I have to cut something, then that sequence is the first thing to go. Yeah, that's the plan. Let's look at what I've been doing so far. But before we look at that, here's something much more important. So let's take a look at what I've already done. This right here is the Arceus symbol. I've already recreated it and it looks good in my opinion. I did it all in After Effects, and as you can see, it's also perfectly synced up with the original cutscene, which means it's also synced up with the music, of course. Then in the cutscene, the symbol is shown with a blue outline. For that, I put the symbol in Photoshop and just gave it a blue outline. I think that also definitely looks usable already, so I'm done with that. Then there are just some shots of Arceus' face in the cutscene. So I looked for pictures for that, and I found this from Legends Arceus. And alternatively, I also found, give me a second, I also found this frame from the Legends Arceus announcement, which I really like. I think I could use the head from that, but I will need to find a picture with a higher resolution for that. And then I looked at the images that are shown in the original cutscene. And this is what I found so far. These are all from some stock picture website or something, or from NASA, so I can use them for free because I'm not paying for that. I tried to kind of find pictures with the same vibe as the original, but not exactly the original, because as I said, I wanted to give it my own twist and I didn't want just to use all the pictures from the original. Also, that would have been a lot of time that I needed to find the originals, so yeah, I didn't want to do that. I will already be spending a lot of time on this project, so I don't need to find every original picture. The only original picture I will use is this one. And this one is, in my opinion, the most iconic of those pictures, because it's one of the first. And I don't know, I just find it iconic. So I wanted to use this original picture, and it was kind of hard to find because Google reverse image search doesn't bring anything up. But actually using Bing and looking at some videos of other people who have already tried to recreate that cutscene, I found it. So yeah, this right here is my list of pictures that I need. The pink ones are ones I've already found, the other ones are ones I'm still looking for. So yeah, as you can see, I have been making good progress on that. As I already mentioned, today I have a lecture in that class where we have to do this project. But we are not really learning anything anymore in those lectures. We are just going there to work on the projects. So I have a specific goal I want to reach. Because my project is a comedy video, it has to be funny. And I'm not very funny, so I have to do a script. That script has to be not perfect, but kinda good, and it definitely has to work as a comedy video, so I will have to spend a bit of time on that, tweaking that, getting that to be just the way I want to, and that is what I want to do in the lecture today. So to get to the lecture, I have to get to Cologne from here, which takes a little bit of time. So I have to get going now. When I'm back, I will give you an update about how the script is looking and what I'm planning to do next. It's now one day later, and I've talked to my lecturer about the idea I just told you about, and I think he liked the idea even though he wasn't too interested by it. But we talked a lot about some details. He mostly showed me how to get the player character out of the Legends Arceus cutscene. As I said before, I have basically no knowledge of After Effects, so everything I can learn is a really big help. The most important parts I have to do now are getting that Legends Arceus cutscene ready by removing the player character. That is what we talked about, and I want to show him that I can do it. So I want to do that before next week Thursday, so I can show him the finished product. But for now, that's all the time I have to work on this project, because next Tuesday will be our last chance to present our other project to our lecturer. So I want to get our other project ready to be shown. I want to get it in a state where we don't have to be embarrassed about it Today is Friday, and until Tuesday I will exclusively work on the other project so I can get that ready. And I will show you what that project is in the next video.